This isn't us talking to our 6-year-old daughter and being like, hey, just because everybody else is doing something doesn't mean you need to do it. If everybody was jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? Like, that's ridiculous. Episode 953 of DizRUns Radio is a quick tip episode, best of ish edition. Today's quick tip: don't stop your watch during a run. So today's little best of ish episode, which if you're new around here, I've got a lot of best of ish. I've got a lot of quick tip episodes. Let me not get my cart in front of my horse here. Over the years, I've been doing one of these a week for just about closing in on 7 years. Now I guess 6.5 years closing in on. So some of the topics are a little bit timely, but a lot of them are things that a little reminder is never a bad idea, and that's what these monthly best of ish episodes are, where I go back into the archives, find a quick tip that I talked about before that is maybe worth dusting off and reminding you of now. Because as much as I like to think that when somebody new finds the show, you go back and listen to all 952 previous episodes, I know that's probably asking a bit. So let's take a little trip down memory lane. And if you were here, if you were listening to me yammer on about when did this episode came out 4 years ago, June 2017. If you listened to episode 430 back then, hey, you know what? It might be worth a reminder. It might be worth a refresh. Hopefully it's worth a refresh. I don't know. It's up to you to decide. But these episodes, it's a new take. This is me not playing the recording from before. This is all new. But the blog post, the show notes, if you will, pretty much copy and paste. Maybe a little bit of tweak and update based on change of events over the last 4 years. But for the most part, that's copy pasted. But the audio is new, and hopefully it's a little ranty. It might, I don't know. Maybe I don't say hopefully. It might get might get a little ranty today. Because I'm talking about one of my pet peeves amongst my fellow runners, something that I used to do as well. So I'm not I'm reformed. I don't still do this. So I'm not as hypocritical here as I am when I get on a roll about foam rolling. But definitely something that I've done in the past, and that is stop my watch during a run. Like you stop to get a drink of water, you stop to get to use the bathroom, maybe to cross the street, maybe you see a friend or a neighbor or something like that. You stop to talk to them for 10 minutes, and so you're out there and you want your stats to be accurate, right? So since you're not running, let's stop our watch. And sometimes it's only for a minute or two. Sometimes not even that long, but sometimes it's a decent chunk. So I get the rationale behind it. So many of us, especially you Type A folks, like. You want to see the numbers, right? You want the data, and you want the data to be accurate, because inaccurate data, that's not worth a whole lot. So, if you're going to be out running, you're stopping to talk, or you're waiting for traffic, you just missed the light, and it's a busy intersection, you got to wait for 2 minutes for the light to change. Like, I get the idea, but I can't tell you how many times, and this isn't one of those I can't tell you how many times because it's in the millions. Like, it's not, but it's in the maybe half a dozen, maybe more than, maybe dozens-ish. Times over the years where I've had one of the athletes I coach that are like, hey, just heads up, the data's the numbers on Strava, the numbers on Garmin or wherever their data syncs to, it's a little bit off because I paused my watch for XYZ reason and forgot to restart my watch when I started running. I didn't realize it for a half a mile or 3/4 of a mile or whenever. Whenever I realized it, I started again, but everything's a little bit off. So sorry about that. And My gut reaction is always, well, why in the hell did you pause your watch? Like, what's that? And again, I just outlined why, because you want your data to be accurate. But here we are at this point in life and in technology. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me to pause your watch, and I'll give you a few reasons why. And if you're a watch pauser, hey, you want to live dangerously and always run that risk of not starting your watch again? Cool. That's on you. But I would encourage you to maybe just, start your watch when you start your run, stop it when you finish it up, and everything else just takes care of itself. So here's some reasons why I would advocate not stopping your watch. First and foremost, at least for those of us that are semi-motivated by race day performance, finishing times, etc., you can't stop the clock on race day. So why should you maybe give yourself a bit of a false sense of security about your paces and how you're doing in relation to time goals that you may be working towards, especially coming out of the pandemic. We got, some of us, 16, 18 months of consistent training without a race to really get the payoff from and test our fitness and see what we can do PR wise. Well, if you're stopping your watch every time you stop to refill your water bottle or go to the bathroom or whatever, you're painting one picture of what your pace is, but it may not be as accurate as what the official time is going to be. And this came up back when this episode first came out, because one of the athletes I was working with at the time was really getting close to that Boston qualifying time, right? And she was preparing, had a great training cycle, great build up, and she came up just short on race day. Still had like a 5-minute PR. So it was a huge win overall, but still a little bit disappointing, right? Because she really thought like she had it. And we were talking about it after the fact, kind of debriefing a little bit. What did we learn? What could we have done differently? And we got to the idea of, you know what? When I do my long runs, I stop my watch because I fill up my water bottle here. I go to the bathroom there, whatever. And when that happens on race day, when you stop to use the bathroom or when you stop to refuel or whatever, and it maybe isn't as much of a stop, but it threw off her average pace time. So she was assuming that she had she was doing her training runs a little bit faster, a little bit closer to that PR time or that BQ time. But then on race day, you don't get to alter that time. Maybe give a little bit of a false sense of security. I'm not certainly not saying that was the reason that she came up just short of the BQ, and she got it the next race. So it was, part of the process. But the point being that especially if you're driven by that race day performance, it doesn't correlate to apples and Volkswagens. It's not even the same ballpark, because on race day the clock doesn't stop. All right. So there's one reason. And if we really wanted to dive into this a little bit, I would argue that maybe it doesn't even matter that much except for on specific workouts, because most of your long runs are probably going to be easy, but that's another topic for another day. But there's one reason, okay? Another reason that I think that we stop our watches, or maybe we shouldn't stop our watches, is, I don't know, if the herd mentality. Because I think it's one of those things that, like, you see somebody else doing it, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. I should stop my watch. Well, just because everybody else in the running club does something, well, a lot of times, if everybody else is doing something, it might be a good idea to think about it, right? Like, let's not kid ourselves. This isn't us talking to our 6-year-old daughter and being like, hey, just because everybody else is doing something doesn't mean you need to do it. If everybody was jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? Like, that's ridiculous. Best practices are best practices for a reason. Lots of benefits from it. But this is one of those where I think people do it without thinking about it. And again, I gave you the reasons why we do it, why we stop our watch during a run. It makes sense intuitively, but all you need is that one day where you forget to restart the watch, and then it throws off the data for that run, and what's the point? 30 seconds of a stop to refill a water bottle to cross the street, or a couple minutes in the bathroom, like over the course of a 2.5-hour run, like, it changes your average pace by what, a second or two? Like, no big deal. So everybody's doing it. Well, it doesn't mean that in this case it's one of the best things to do. And maybe the most obvious reason to me that I don't think was exactly the case 4 years ago when I did this episode, but in 2021, here's why I'll tell you there's no reason to stop your watch during a training run. Because your watch probably does it for you. And if your watch doesn't do it for you, Strava does. Okay? So why run the risk of forgetting to restart your watch when you can just change the setting on your watch, more than likely, change the setting on your watch so that it stops when you stop. It auto pauses, is I believe what it's called on most of the watch platforms out there. Just set your watch up to auto pause, and then it doesn't matter. Now, I would argue, or the reason that I don't have my watch set for auto pause, is it still doesn't paint the most accurate picture because the clock doesn't stop on race day. But if you're going to keep pausing your watch, just flip the thing over to auto pause, and then you never have to worry about forgetting to start your watch. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. And Strava does it too. So, like, I don't pause my watch, right? Like, or I don't pause it during a run. I don't pause it when Bailey stops to use the bathroom mid-run, and I got to sit around and wait for her, and then we got to stop at the disposal bin for the dog poop and, drop that off and get a new bag and yada, yada, yada. And I stop for my Seen on the Run picture every day. Like, I never stop my watch. But if you look at my Koros data and you look at my Strava data, they're two different numbers. Why? Because Strava automatically does it. They automatically sense when you don't stop, or when you're not running, when you're not moving, and we'll stop it here. So if you just let your watch run, you'll get the picture of how long you were out there, how long you were on your feet, all that kind of good stuff. And then if you want your moving time data, just upload it to Strava, which y'all know you're already uploading to Strava anyway. Then check your Strava, and it'll tell you just the moving time. So, I don't know. I mean, is it a big deal one way or another? No. Am I just ranting to rant? Maybe. But all you got to do is forget to unpause your watch once. And then you're like, why am I doing this? Strava just does it automatically. My watch will just do it automatically. Make it simple on yourself, folks. My opinion, at least. Make it simple on yourself. Start your watch at the beginning of your run. Stop it at the end. When you're ready to stop, hit that button, sync it, upload it, good to go. But what do I know? What do I know? So, anyway, you want to do it? Great. You don't. But my advice, my 2 cents for whatever it's worth, there's no reason to be stopping your watch during a run. And especially just because other people do it. Like, that's just things that other people do. But I don't know. What am I missing? Why do you stop your watch during a run? Let me know. At DizRUns on Twitter, at DizRUns on Instagram. You can also send an email to DizRuns@gmail.com. Of course, you can also head over to the blog post / show notes for today, which once again is DizRuns.com/953. DizRuns.com/953. Leave your thoughts, feedbacks, comments, takeaways down there in the comment section. Or if you're watching this over on YouTube, leave a comment down there and let me know why stopping a watch during a run is a good idea. Or maybe, just maybe, you agree with me and be like, yes, this is ridiculous. Why do people do this? I'll take a little backup on this one if I can get it. But one way or the other, let me know what you think. And in all the places, you can find the info for today's episode, or the Athletic Kinetics link to check out that course that they have. DizRuns.com/ATHKIN. Once again, definitely 40 minutes worth of your time. A good use of 40 minutes of your time, for sure. And all you need to do is learn one thing. You learn one thing in that 40 minutes, it was worth it, that you can then take and implement into your running, improve your form, improve your routines, your warm-ups, cool-downs, things like that to help you stay healthy, move towards those goals. And, while you're out there training as well, just let the watch run. Just let it run. Just let it run. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you like this episode, tell somebody about it. If you'd like to hear me rant more, let me know, and I'll try to do some more of these ranty episodes once in a while. I don't know. Maybe that was a controlled rant. You want me to just fly off the handle? We can do that once in a while too. But anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for taking me with you. Thanks for the time and the attention. Until next time, y'all be well. Take good care. Thanks again for listening, and we'll talk soon. All right. See you.